Pesachim daf tzadi dalit. The Gemara on the bottom of tzadi gimel and beis brings machloikis. What's considered derech rechoika? Kol she'en yachal kones b'shas shchito b'shas achila. There's a tremendous machloikis. Rashi and the Rambam we mentioned this year on daf tzadi gimel. Rashi learns that when ein yachal kones b'shas shchita, that means at the time of chatzois hayoyim, which is the beginning of this man shchita, you can't come into Yerushalayim. You're more than tezvav mil away from Yerushalayim, so you have a door of derech rechoika. However, the Rambam learns it's not totally in zman chatzois hayoyim. You have to look at the time of Netzachama. And if Netzachama, you have tezvav mil away from Yerushalayim, and you won't be able to get into Yerushalayim at the beginning of the Zman Shchita, which is Chatzois, which is the time that we start shechting the Korban Pesach. You have a door of Derech Rechoika. Ein Diara Levi and others that speak out according to the Shita Sarabam, it's Miyushiv. Tosis is Kasha in the bottom of Tzadi Gimel Medal. If they ask why do you need a door of Derech Rechoika, Lamanta Omar that holds that Derech Rechoika is totally B'Shas Achila, so why do you need a pasuk? It's pashut that you potter because you can't eat the Korban Pesach, so it's pashut you potter. But according to the Rambam, it's beautiful. The door of Derech Rechoika is even in a situation you could come in at the end of the Zman Achila, at the end of the Zman Shchita. Since you can't come into Yerushalayim at the beginning of the time of Shchita, the beginning of the time of Achila, you're potter. So it's a specific says the Kosov that you're potter, not because you can't eat the Korban Pesach. The Shagis Aryeh in Simidiyat Zayin is Ma'irich on the Shittas of Rambam, and there's many kashas on the Rambam. One kasha is, he asks, why according to the Rambam is the Tur Derech Rechoika totally in Shas Netzachama, the beginning of the Zman of Chiv Korban Pesach is Chatzois, so what is the Shaykhis, the Zman of Netzachama? So he says perhaps the beginning of the Shas Chiv of Shchitas Korban Pesach is B'Shas Netzachama. It's Ram you on the Chiv, starting Netzachama to go and check the Korban Pesach and Chatzois, and we considered you a Bar Chiyuv already in the morning, so that's why it's totally in Netzachama. But he says it's Tzorachin, because it's Mavur in the Gemara in Zvachim Daf Kuf, that you consider a Bar Chiyuv and Korban Pesach only at the time of Chatzois, and the Gemara has a shayla if it's Chalam Yuaninus or Chiyav Korban Pesach. And the Gemara says, according to Abaya, that if it's Meis Loi Meis before Chatzois, it's Chalan Chiyav Aninus. However, if it's Meis Loi Meis after Chatzois, it's really Chal Chiyav Korban Pesach, and Zloi Osi Chiyav Aninus Umatchelei. So you see from the Gemara in Zvachim that the Zman Chiv of Korban Pesach is totally in Chatzois, not the beginning of the day. Ayin Mikdash David that answers this kash, and he says there's two different halachas in the Chiv Korban Pesach. One is the Chiv Korban Pesach is a Chiv Korban like other Korbanos, it's a Chiv the Gavoya, and you mashkin, so that means that you take a mashkin if someone fails to bring his Korban to the Gavoya, and that's already Chal Baboiker. At the beginning of the day, it's already Ram you on your obligation to go and bring your korban to the Beis HaMikdash. But he says besides, for the Chiyav korban like a regular korban, it's also asay sheish b'koris. That is an asay sheish b'koris to bring a korban Pesach, and that the Chiyav is specifically by Chatzois, and only by Chatzois. If there's already a Chiyav korban Pesach, so it's considered that there's a asay sheish b'koris which takes priority over the asay of aninus which ain't by koris, and that's totally specifically by Chatzois. However, the Gabi Derech Rechoika, the Iker Chiyuva of Korban is already Chal at the beginning of the day. And the beer in the Mikdash David is the Ayin that goes from Jimachovsky and the Shagis Aryeh that he explains that the Chiyuva, the Gavro, in the Korban Pesach begins at the beginning of the day, B'nei Sechamo, or the Chiyav B'Poyel, when he is obligated B'Poyel to bring the Korban is Chatzois, so therefore, regard to Derech Rechoika, it's totally in the Aschalto, the beginning of the Chiyav of the Gavro. However, the Gavi to push away Aninos, you have to look at the Chiyav B'Poyel. The Shagis Aryeh continues and asks a very strong question on the Rambam. He says, why is the Ptur of Derech Rechoika totally in Shas Netzachama? L'chayr it should be totally in the Lois HaShachar. All halachas of Yoim in the Torah are totally in the Lois HaShachar. That's the beginning of the day. So why specifically in regard to Derech Rechoika do we look at Netzachama? In the Kunshas Achron, the Shagasari says that B'yisoidoi the Chiyuv Korban Pesach is already Chal Ba'alois HaShachar. However, since it's before in Pesachim Daf Beis, that La'olam Yetzi Adam B'chi Toiv, you're supposed to go out on a trip only by day, so therefore the Chiyuv B'poil to go to Yerushalayim, to Makav Korban Pesach, is only by Netzach Chama, not by Alois HaShachar. The Blei Malin has an arichas and an eye-opening Yisoid to answer the Shagisari's kasha, which is a new insight in the zemanim of a Netzach Chama and Alois and Shki and Seisek Rechovim. He explains that Be'emes the Shagisari is marich many more kashas in this Inyan. The Shagasari is the kasha on Toises in Zvachim that brings Rebbeinu Tam, that's brought over here in Toises and Naftali Dalid, that the Rishonim ask him, Zvachim, why do you need a pasuk to tell us that dam is nifsal b'shkiyas achamo? The halacha is that korbanos could only be brought by day. And you learn from the pasuk V'yem Savoy, so therefore, since korbanos can only be by day, so therefore, what do you need a pasuk to tell you that dam is nifsal b'shkiyas achamo? You could only be makriv, b'zoyik the dam of the korban today, only by day. So Rebbeinu Tam says the answer to this question is that there's two shkiyas, there's tchilas shkia and soif shkia, and betchilas shkia, the dam is nifsal. However, the pasal, the avodah is totally in soif shkia. The Shagis Ari asks that if that's the case, that already betchilas shkia, which is shkia tzachama, not seisek rechovim, the dam is nifsal. So it's tzarechim. The Mishnah Megillah Daf Chofam Beis says typically that since the dam was nifsal b'shkiyas achama, so therefore you don't have kol hayoim kosher la'azor because the dam is nifsal b'shkiyas achama. So Blei Malin says that be'emes you find the famous machlokes Magen Avram and Goyin in regard to the zemanim of Kriya Shema and Tefillah, if you count from Alois HaShachar to Seisek Rechovim, or you count from Netzach Chama till Shkiyas Achama. The Magen Avram holds you count from Alois HaShachar to Seisek Rechovim. That's the earlier zman Kriya Shema that we have. And the Goyin says he starts counting from Netzach Chama until Shkiyas Achama. The Bleib asks that the Goyin is tzarechien. What's the understanding in the opinion of the Goyin? Why is man Kriya Shema and man Tefillah totally in Netzach Chama? For all halachas in the Torah, Yoim is totally in Alois HaShachar. Why specifically over here do we look at Netzach Chama? So Blei Malin says that you see from here that there's two separate halachas in regard to what's considered Yoim. There's one halacha considered Yoim legabi the mitzvahs, halachas that you need Yoim for a mitzvah, that there are mitzvahs that need Yoim for the Iker mitzvah, like Milah and Tefillin, and that is totally in Alois HaShachar and Seisek Rechovim. And there's a separate halacha in Yoim legabi the halachas of Shoyis HaYoim, that there are specific mitzvahs that are totally in specific hours of the day. So the hours of the day are counted by the zman of the shemesh, of the sun. And the sun rises by the Netzach Chama and sets by Shkiyas Achama. So all halachas that are totally in zmanei hayoim are totally in from Netzach Chama to Shkiyas Achama. So according to this, Rebbe says that we find that we have two different halachas in regard to what's considered Yom and Laila. Halachas that need day, like Tefillin and Milah. When you need day for the Iker mitzvah, that's totally in Alois HaShachar to Seisek Rechovim. However, halachas that are totally in the Zmanei HaYoim, that's totally in Netzach Chama to Shkiyas Achama. And the Rebbe says, Yesh Lachkar, there are mitzvahs that the day are a zman, their expiration of when you could fulfill the mitzvah, like Be'achilas Kochim, that's Shnei Yomim V'Layla Echad. So there's no halacha that Achilas Kochim has to be by day. The whole halacha is that at the end of the day it expires the time to fulfill the mitzvah. So Yesh Lachkar, is that totally in Seisek Rechovim or Shkiyas Achama? So Bleib says that's good for the understanding in Rebbeinu Tam. Rebbeinu Tam understood that the zman of the day for Zrika, which is also not a halacha that the avodah needs the day. The halacha is that by the end of the day it's like a shear, so that's totally in Shkiyas Achama. That's totally in the day of Shkiyas Achama. It's not totally in the day of Seisek Rechovim. So according to this, he answers the Shagasari's kasha. The Shagasari asks that the Mishnah says that Hazos kosher kol hayoim, and it's not true because it's nifsal before the end of the day, because nifsal b'shkiyas hachama, not the end of the day. The Shagasari says no, that is considered the end of the day. The Gabi various halachas, the end of the day is finished as shkiyas hachama, and he says, oh, the Shagasari asks further that the Mar should have explained that the shkiyas hachama, even though it's not the end of the day, the dam is nifsal havalei l'gmar lefarish. According to this in Yusuf Hativ, it's not a specific say as a cost that the dam is nifsal b'shkiyas hachama. It's a general din that legabi halachas that totally in zemanim hayoim, the dam is nifsal b'shkiyas hachama. And it's Miyushav according to this. The Shagasari's kasha, the Rambam. Why is the zman is very rechoika totally in Eitzacham? It should be totally in Leisa Shacha, because Leisa Shacha is the beginning of the day. The answer is no, that by Korban Pesach, since it said Bein HaArbayim, so therefore it's like the mitzvahs that are b'shoyis hayoim tal yamilsa, that you start counting in Eitzacham and not by Leisa Shacha. And according to this, he's Miyashiv the Birchas HaZevach, that the Birchas HaZevach writes that according to the Bein Tam, the same way dam is nifsal b'shkiyas hachama, so the seiv zman of achilas kodshim is also b'shkiyas hachama. And Sarchin mehechatesi, there's no specific says a kosef that tell us that the seiv zman achilas kodshim is b'shkiyas hachama. But Bleib says according to Hanal it's Miyushav Hativ, because the gabi achilas kodshim, the yoim is like a shear, and it's totally in shkiyas hachama and not in seisek rechavim.